Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video, we're going to have ourselves another blacksmith question of the day, or blacksmith questions of the day. We're going to answer 3 of them today, and I hope you enjoy this video. As always, you can comment what you think about it down in the comment section down below. So let's get right into it. First question of the day is from Martin Madolvin at MS Blades, and he asks, Roy, is there a scroll that you can pull down after it is scrolled in a way to accept a round bottom candle holder? Would love to see how to do that. Thanks for your hard work and dedication, Martin. You're very welcome, Martin. Thank you for asking the great question and being part of the channel for such a long time. Always good to see you in the comment section here. So, great question. Scrolls in general could lend themselves very nicely to that. Now, there's 2 different types of scrolls that you can get into. There's scrolls that are always going from the center, and they're doubling on themselves, doubling into a big, large spiral. So they, every time you make a pass, they're about double that width or that gap in between them. So that what they call an Archimedes spiral. It comes way out by the end of it, right? So there's a lot of gap going down, reducing to the amount of gap as it comes to the center. I personally like those scrolls the best, but there's also scrolls that are considered scrolls, but they are technically spirals, and that means that the distance is never any different. So even though the scroll grows larger and larger, the spiral stays the same all the way out as it grows and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, you can see that in like a snail. Some people roll up snails, do little hand-forged snails, and they'll roll up the ends of them like that to be like the shell. Okay, that is technically a spiral, and that would lend itself very well to what you are talking about there. You would just spiral it up and leave enough on the end of it there, on the center portion, or what would have been the finial end, and then grab onto that and just pull directly down. One thing that you will have to do to get that done right, you will need a way of heating up the entire piece nice and evenly to be able to pull that material. You don't need stuff to be super hot, depending on how thick it is, but you want a good orange heat on that as you pull that material. So a gas forge would lend itself very well to doing something like that, as well as some way of taking and supporting the rest of the spiral, the rim portion of the spiral, wherever that's going, so it doesn't get all wonky as you pull the rest of it. So, next question comes from Brett Phillips. Did you cut off the welded end and re-weld too, or did we miss a scroll heat? So I'm not quite sure what you mean by did you cut off the welded end and then re-weld. Everything was done in one continuous method. The only portion of the scroll that I cut off was that there was too much in length, so I cut that off. Now, I do use some jump frames sometimes to speed up the video. The video was over an hour long, and I had to condense it to about a half hour. So there might have been some heats there that, kind of skipped a step, but once you learn how to start doing the finial, it's the same thing repetitively all over again for like a gazillion heats on a big scroll like that. So you're just constantly shaping. It's the same thing. It's wash, rinse, repeat. So I try to eliminate as much of the wash, rinse, repeat as I can out of it, and that way it does jump over. But no, there wasn't a cut off and re-weld. When I went to go and finally tenon the material, I did cut the tenon off because the tenon was too long for the bracket, but you can see that in the second video in that series. I mentioned doing that when we start to do the assembly work right before the video is over. So highly encouraged to go watch those videos back through, or just scrub through the timeline to get to that portion of it. To kind of rewatch what I did there. But yes, I do use sometimes, I don't film the entire process just because it would be a lot of hours of just dead footage just kind of sitting there, you guys watching me pander around in the shop. So great question. Thanks, Brett Phillips, for asking. All right, next question. Came from D-Day Invader 6 days ago. Thank you for asking this question. How much do these tend to go for? And that is always a great question. What should you sell your work for? What should you sell a particular product like this for? I personally am selling this right now on my website for, I believe it's a little over 250 bucks. So, if you want to go check that out, if you're in the market for getting a really nice hand-forged plant hanger by me, you can do that. And it's 250 bucks. So what could you get for it? I do not know your personal skill level or the market that you would be selling in, different localities. So if you're a local person, generally, if you're selling local, you get a lot less for your work unless you are in a very fancy place like Baltimore, or again, like a coastal town, someplace that you could drive the dollars, right? New York City, some of the big art hubs and cultural hubs and things that might have a really big, good established art scene or crafts scene. If they have that, you can drive a pretty good price or a pretty good bargain. If you're not, if you live way out in Podunk, wherever, like me, you're just not going to get that price, because most likely you are around farmers, you're around crafts people of a different nature, much like myself, and we just don't have that kind of cash to spend on that. So it really just depends on where you're selling. And when it goes to being online, sky is really just kind of the limit. The market will bear what the price will be. So if you could put something up and sell it for $1,000 and you'll get 500 orders of it. You put it for $2,000, you get zip. Or you might put it for $10,000 and you get 500 orders of it. And that's the way the online market world goes, because you have to keep in mind that when you're online and you're selling your pieces online, you're marketing them to 7.8 billion people with a B, 7.8 billion people with a B. Not all of those people have the funds to do that. The top 1% do, but if even at 1% of 7.8 billion people, if that's your target demographic you're going after with your ironwork, you could sell them quite a bit. So instead of being a politician and dancing all around the subject, I would say a good range for this, if you listen to that whole diatribe, a good price range for a plant hanger like this would be right around that $100 range, $125 on up to, depending on its complexity, how much you put into it. Again, you could probably get all the way up in the realm of $600-700 for a plant hanger similar to this, with a few additions. You may want to add some collars, you may want to add a few little chased elements, things of that nature, throw in some hand-forged ironwork, hardware kit, things like that, and that will really help sell that piece, make that upsell for a lot higher bet. But I believe it is posted right now on my website, so you can go check it out over there. You can find that at ChristCenterIronworks.com if you're interested in checking it out. I'm pretty sure it's up there for right around 250 bucks. I could be wrong for that, but I just, I made it for YouTube. I figured it was decent enough that I could actually sell it through my regular website. So go check that out if you're in the market for a plant hanger. Yeah, so that's it. That's going to be it for today. That'll end and conclude this Blacksmith Question of the Day. I hope it was informative. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did and you found it helpful, comment down in the comment section down below. Let me know how we're doing on those. Always great to hear from you. And if you have a question that you want to take and ask me and it hasn't been answered yet, a great way of you doing that is just type in hashtag Blacksmith Question of the Day and then put your question directly following. After that, it will really greatly help me locate those questions quicker. So that's it for today. God bless you. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.